So, I don't know about y'all, but I'm extremely excited to finish this game. Like, really dang excited. We are in the final chapter of The Evil Within. And that's wonderful. I'm trying to think of... Sorry, I'm like also just setting everything up and trying to make it all work. I'm gonna boop all the zombies. I'm gonna boop them and maybe stomp a little bit. It's gonna be great. Nah, I'm like genuinely excited. Yeah. How's everyone? How are y'all? Fruity, Allie, Travis, potential lurkers, hello. Probably boops because we're out of bullets. I think we're doing okay on bullets right now. We might not be, actually, as I think about it. I think we were okay on pistol ammunition, and then we may have used all of that while trying to unplug the zombies. We definitely don't have 0 bullets, but we don't have a lot of bullets. The unplugging, it occurred. It happened. Travis, Fruity, thank you for the contribution to the alien stream. Reminder, we've got a community challenge up right now. I'll try and remember to remind folks later. Are we ready? Allie, thank you. It's gonna happen. Are you ready? Here it is. Ooh. Ooh. My day has been good, and then weird, and then has run into the really weird. So things are gonna be might be a little bumpy at first, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it. I don't think I have anything else that I like really need to say as far as like announcements or anything are concerned. There are a non-zero amount of bullets. This is correct. So I guess let's go ahead and shall we just start? Shall we just do the thing? Y'all want to just play the dang game? I haven't launched it yet. It's launching now. It's gonna be really loud and I apologize. There it is. There it is. There it is! Yeah, murder. Murder is our goal tonight. We're gonna finish this game. I don't imagine it's gonna take us the full 3 hours unless it ends up being a bad boss situation. Like we ended on yesterday. But yeah, if we get it done in a decent amount of time, at least with like an hour to spare or so, we might go ahead and start The Last of Us. If we're all feeling up to it. Kind of just depends on what goes on in this dang game. But if not, then we will definitely start that on Monday, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. I need to talk about tomorrow like it's actually the day it is. Kidman! But yeah, that's the plan for right now. What is happening here? That's us! It's Sebastian! Don't shoot me! Excuse you. Alright, well that's a heck of a way to start stream. Good morning. Have a bullet. Trying to think if I need anything before we start. We have keys that we need to use, right? We found a few keys. There's stuff falling on my dang noggin. It's gonna do it again? Ceiling. Crumple. Never mind. It's fine. But yeah, how's everyone? Allie, that's super exciting that you got a new fridge. Like I said, I'm really happy that you guys got that
Nobody here at all.
fixed as quickly as you did. Julie, or is that? I can't read that. I assume it's Kidman though. That kind of looks like Kidman. Missing woman. Missing. Short brown hair, brown eyes. Responds to nicknames. Something. Also, the number was 6969. Nice. Internals affair interview transcript. Right? Nice. Hi, David. How's it going, friend? Investigator Phi! You know why you're here? Detective Castellanos. Because you people aren't doing your job. You've been pursuing an unauthorized investigation using KCPD resources to do so. In addition, there are reports of threats, intimidation, and physical violence. If you had any proof of those allegations, you'd be taking my badge and gun right now. You've obviously been careful, otherwise we would have. We're watching you. You're not the only ones. You've, what's that supposed to mean? Keep following me. You'll find out soon enough. You keep drinking like you do, we won't have to. Got work to do. Are we finished here? For now. But you're on thin ice, Castellanos. If I get even one more report, you're through. I'll be through when it's over. Detective Castellanos leaves interview room. This man. It's a good emote. Listen. Listen. The Sir emote? Very good. What is happening over there? It wants you to... It's Leslie! That sounds like Leslie. We have 3 keys. Emmy. Hi, pals. How is everyone doing tonight? I'm gonna open a bunch of these, and I genuinely hope that it is all ammo all the time. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not... That's a good amount of pickle juice, right, friends? Emmy, thank you for the contribution to the stream. Doing okay on those. I mean, we obviously won't get them before the end of the game, but that's okay. Thank you, David, as well, for the contribution to the Alien stream. It's not in here, is it? No, the voice is getting quieter. Friends! All of the friends. Makes me happy to see y'all. Hi, friends. That's completed. Can't do that. Could do syringe recovery. We're doing okay on that, though, so far. I think I would like to do damage multipliers and stuff. Accuracy is done for that. Accuracy on this would be good, but that's so much. I'm gonna do damage. How much? Not quite. Not the aliens. Where are the aliens? Let's go ahead and do mag damage. And damage multiplier. Right? Yeah, no, damage multipliers are definitely kind of what we want to do. I think I'll do damage multiplier on the pistol next. I don't have enough for it right now. But we got 6 bullets for the Magnum, which is our strongest weapon. Thank you for getting the shout out there, Annie. There's our boy! No, come here. Leslie. Sweet, lovely Leslie. My darling baby. Leslie. Hi, sweetie. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Gotta get the Mayor Emmy shout out there too. I think it's all people we know right now who are in here. But I appreciate y'all doing it anyway.
Hey, wait.
Yeah, I wish I had more ammo. We're gonna do a murder on Ruvik though, right? Like, we gotta. We're gonna shout about all of our friends all the time. Hey! Hey everyone! My friends are great and I love them, and you should also love my friends because they're great. And if you don't think my friends are great, I'm gonna beat you up! I'm gonna do it! Ah! That's me yelling about how great my friends are. I am a little distracted at the moment because I just ate dinner before this, but it was a dinner that does not agree with me. So my tummy is a little upset. I'm gonna be fine.
Where are you taking me?
But if you see me pulling faces for no reason, there is a reason, and it's probably that. But Tum Tum's not happy with me. It's gonna be fine. Big old tummy rumblies. More like tummy grumblies. Am I right? I was gonna eat earlier, but stuff was going on and I got a little busy. Sometimes you gotta take a big ol' nap after eating some food.
This way. When you come down.
Tummy grumblies do suck though.
This way. This way.
You took that good old drap. Brap. It's not a brap. Because you... Am I supposed to run? What are we doing? Sebastian? Nah, I should be good. I'm just saying, if I... Like, I'm fine, and it's not... I don't know. It's not anything I can, like, fix. It's not bad! It's just not great, either. It's a little uncomfy. There's nothing new with that. No, the thing I ate had a bunch of stuff in it that I probably shouldn't eat.
Beacon. Just
It's
like
fine.
Joseph said.
Chapter 15! I can do a hydrate, though. Look. I have a big gallon bottle right now. I don't wanna do dishes. I don't wanna do any more dishes than I've already done. So we're just drinking straight from the bottle. It's fine. I'm gonna finish this before the end of the night. I don't usually just... If I'm drinking straight out of a bottle, like this, it's because that's it. This is mine, and I am finishing this today. I'm not sharing. No one gets any of my water. It is mine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah! Juice! Maybe we'll be able to upgrade our pistol before the full end. That would be exciting. Is there... Look, it's kind of teleporting us ahead, right? Which leads me to believe that there was going to be a secret thing that they moved me away from. That's not the case. But we are at the hospital now! Well, dang. Right? No, listen. It 100% is. This game doesn't want me to have any bullets ever? And that's tragic. We haven't been here since the beginning. Whoa. Knew what? Hey, buddy. What'd you know? Sebastian, would you like to fill me in? Usually I'm the one figuring out things before you. And I don't know what you're I-knew-iting about. You know? Can I go in here? Open. You will not even touch it! But where are the bullets? How do I get back there? There's juice. I saw it. Get back there from here. You get back here from here. That's a big bottle! That means we can upgrade our pistol, and that's very exciting to me. Okay, they want us to go in there, but before we do, I am gonna heal up. Alright. What do we got? Hello? Are you hiding things from me? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Give me that health. Hello? I know I've said it already, but I did really enjoy the long stream that we did yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Alright. Open! We're just gonna very slowly go down this ladder. That's fine. Whatever you want, buddy. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Yikes.
Every tug of flesh pulled away from my bones until absolute darkness overtook me. Darkness and pain. 1,000 other sensations as they probed my cerebrum, examined my work. An eternity of intensity. Pain. Pleasure. Rage.
Yeah?
Ecstasy. Blending together into a single piercing noise. Until the darkness was broken by sparks. Like twinkling stars.
Oops.
The pain. The noise. The light blends together. Takes shape. It's a place I know so well.
Yeah.
My prison. My home. You brought this on yourself.
Right, I don't... Like, it sucks that this happened, Ruvik, but also... You were kind of a shithead to begin with. Was I wasn't supposed to fall in there, was I? But what if there's something good in there? Listen, what if they're hiding good things in the blood pit? Blood pit! Meet me in the motherfucking pit! Look at this. 1,000 juice! That's all that was in here, though. Not exactly worth it. It's fine. Game? Do you have more bullets for me, game? Hi, Leslie! I love you. I'll be there in a minute, buddy. Okay. I don't know how much the next upgrade for pistol damage would be. But, I'm hoping that we can get enough to maybe upgrade it twice. Newer note from Sewer. You still dream of escape? So near at hand? What is the point of dreaming when your body lies here, never moving? Again, they teleported us. Which makes me wonder if they are hiding things from me. I would like bullets. I would like health items. And I wouldn't say no to, some more juice. I wish Sebastian could, like, run in the water. Even just a little faster than what he can walk. They're not gonna give me anything at the end of this very long path, are they? There's gonna be absolutely nothing here. And it's gonna be tragic, and I'm gonna have to trudge all the way back. I don't like being right. Really? Absolutely nothing. The game is all about dashing our hopes at this point. Sir? Please. Nah, it's rude. It's a rude game. We learned this yesterday. I'm still extremely salty about the boss fight. And how bad it was. And how long it took. And how bad it was. No, Dor, I was literally just going through you. I was right there, Dor. Mm-hmm. Just like putting things behind waterfalls. You gotta. It's required. That is where items belong. Are these dead ends? Or... it's like, they were here before, but I don't think I had a weapon at that point. So I couldn't come through here. Because we, like, kinda came through this general area at the very beginning of the game. When our leg was hurt. And Sebastian was worse than normal. There was rifle ammo down here. Not mad about that. Right? Doesn't matter if it's cliched. You gotta do it. I am completely out of agony bolts, which is a bit of an issue. How much? Oh, I have plenty. Great. Okay, well, we've made regular ones. Am I supposed to go here? No, because this is a dead end. Okay, that's fine. Give me the juice. Let's go, game. Let's go. Open it. Open it! Don't like that sound. Hello? Leslie?
Leslie? Over there.
Leslie! I'm so worried about my baby. Clack, clack. It's from my cheer. I understand what's happening. I had to stop and think about it for a second, but I understand. Leslie? Hey, honey. Is this the way you want me to go, game? Right? And it makes me sad. I love Leslie. Like, I'm still not 100% whether Leslie is actually related to Ruvik, or if Leslie is some created part. I know, it's because I love Leslie. But it's like, I don't know if he's actually related to Leslie, if he is like some other aspect of Ruvik's mind.
Otherwise, their device is a perversion of my own. The device I should have created. My data, my equipment, my theories.
Your brain hurting a little bit, Sebastian?
I replaced my husk of a body with a new dimension of torment.
Like, maybe Leslie is the sweet side of Ruvik. Ruben Victoriano. Okay, can we go? Let's go! Sorry, my hands are a little chilly. It's kind of cold up here today. Which sucks. I don't know. That just means I can bundle up. This is where you want me to go? I don't want to go where they want me to go because I want to look for stuff. You know? Okay, this is a dead end. But we got a map fragment and some more juice. We're doing pretty okay on pickle juice. The last couple of chapters were just being a little stingy and it made me worried. We're doing great. Here's Leslie. Also, I should probably make sure my controller is fully charged. In case we get to The Last of Us tonight. Hi, baby! That's a tall tower! Okay, hold on. Thought I remember seeing something over here. And I was right. It was there. More juice. The thing that you desperately want. By you, I mean me. I want the pickle juice. Give me all the damn juice. All of the goodies, please. Okay. This is fine. Get in there, Sebastian! I'm ready to be emotionally devastated in case Leslie dies. Is there... Can I go in here? Will not let me. We don't even get to hear the music for this. Oh. Oh. We don't get to visit Mind Hospital anymore. Aww. I'm actually kind of sad about that. Okay, let's go ahead and... Oh, I don't have enough. I'm just short. Can I upgrade damage on any of these other ones? I could get level 3 damage multiplier for the shotgun, which wouldn't necessarily be too bad, or sniper rifle? Or I could wait until I get not even 3,000 more. Let's upgrade the damage on the shotgun. I have made my decision. We will not be going back. I will not be taking questions about my decision either. It seemed like the thing to do, so I did it. Alright. This is probably the last save spot? This feels like the last save spot. Oh, I'm stressed. I'm concerned. Everything.
Damn it!
Everything is terrible.
Hey, I know you're out there.
What can I say? I'm just a naturally anxious person. Situation seems perfectly fine. Oh, hi. Yeah?
Watch out for his eye. What? If you want to live, you avoid Ruvik's eye. Watch out for his eye.
What's that
supposed to mean?
It's me a lot of this weekend. Sometimes you just gotta lay down. Oh, he's dead.
Poor guy. Rest in peace.
I don't think he's gonna. Listen. Oh, his face, though. Well. Can I open this? It's locked! I can't... Okay. Game was trying to transition into a cutscene. That's why I couldn't do anything. I was gonna say, we saw this in at the very beginning of the game. You idiot. Sebastian. Oh, damn. Well, now you're gonna both be on fire! And Ruvik might be naked! I'm sure it's fine. We were told to not... We were told to avoid his eye, Sebastian. You've done the one thing you were told not to do. Listen, Sebastian, you're really bad at everything. It's a cool looking level, though. I like it. Why do the zombies have guns? Why do they always have to have guns? Fuck. Damn. No, I should... Okay. Whoa! Hello! Where are you going? There's a machine gun zombie up there. I need to go. I gotta go! This is fine. We're not even worried, honestly. I'm a little worried. I'm just a touch worried. Just a little. I'm a healthy amount worried. Can you come up here, sir? Not the bottle. Get out of here. Okay, let's just... Oh, you're one of these. Sebastian, I need you to actually set fire to stuff when I tell you to, okay? I think she's dead, but I wasn't sure, and I wanted to make sure. No, don't climb up! Don't climb up! Oh, it's one of you. Get down. Get down! Get down! Get down! Get up! Get! What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, boy! No, don't stop! Okay, we're doing alright. I am gonna heal up. We're gonna top off because we do have 2 healing items. We're gonna blow his head off. Take care of him. We're gonna set both of them on fire. Because sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you just have to set a couple of dudes on fire. I appreciate the fact that they are dropping a lot of ammo. That's nice. We appreciate that. Oops. It counted, though. It killed him. Juice. Sometimes you just gotta Norda boy. Truer words have never been spoken. You do, though. Sometimes you just gotta take a step back. Get out of here, bottle. Sometimes you just gotta Norda man. Where are they? Where? There. They sound very close. It's because they're behind me. They sound very close because they are behind me. I see. I understand. Takes me a second sometimes, but I get there. Do you wanna hop up, Sebastian? Oh my god. Man. Sir. No. Get up. I've missed entirely. Okay, it's fine. We're good. If I could get some more shotgun shells, though, that would be, like, super appreciated. Set all of them on fire, maybe? Not all of them.
Out of ammo.
Okay, that is a little bit of an issue. We'll figure it out. It's gonna be fine. We're doing great! I'm stuck. I'm stuck. And I've missed. Just crawling up there, Sebastian. Let's, get out of the way. Beautiful! Not beautiful! No! No! Man! Guy, listen! I am right here! My dude! Oh, no! He has a chainsaw now. Oh, that could have gone better. Alright. You know what? We can work with this. This is not the weapon I want. I would like this weapon, please. Oh! 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 Okay, that is a little unfortunate. I think it checkpointed right before he showed up, though. I think? Possibly? Excuse you, I'm taking a drink, game. Do I have to do this all over? Do I have to do all of that over again? That doesn't seem right. Where are they? Okay, it's not all of it. Just a lot of it. And I'm missing every single shot? So that kind of sucks. Why is Sebastian so bad about reloading? Bullets? Bullets. Bullets. Okay. Let's just not get hit by the bazooka, please? That was on my foot. I couldn't do anything about that. Let's just take a moment, right? I don't have anything here that is good. I don't have anything here that is good. I thought I had some shotgun shells. Apparently I do not. So this is a little bit of a problem. Hey, I'm gonna need you to not do that. Whoa, my man. Big lad. Large boy, please don't hurt me. You're doing it so dang bad! Out of those. Don't have any of that. Have none of that. So it is just my four pistol. Okay, that's fine. Grab that, grab that, grab that and go. Grab that and go. Grab that and go. That's fine. That's fine. That's worth it. Reload! Run and reload! Run and reload! Sebastian! Whoa, 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 whoa. No! No! I keep getting stuck on corners and I don't like it. Oh my goodness.
I can't believe you've done this.
Ah! You can't? Okay, that's fine. Just eat yourself off of there.
Out of ammo?
There's ammo right under him and I want it and I can't get to it. Please, my guy! I see
Eiley.
Eiley too! Sorry, I'm panicking. Thank you for the bits, Sam! You're great and wonderful, Allie. Thank you for getting that shout out there. It's bad here. Everything's bad here, and I'm scared. I don't want this man to kill me. Why does he take so many dang hits? No! Is that it? Did we do it? We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. We've done it. Hi, friend. Welcome in. How are you doing? How are things going? How are you? Okay, well, I'm back to where I was before, where I have no ammo. So that kind of... Well, excuse me. We have 2 pistol, 1 agony bolt, and 2 sniper rifles ammo. That's fine. I'm doing. We are a little better than we were earlier. It's been a rough week, but we are getting through it. It's now a new week, and I'm gonna make it good, whether it wants to be or not. But yeah, we're doing all right. Right, it's been... The week was its own thing. It's also been a whole ass weekend. It's been a lot over the last while. But I'm glad you're doing well. Sorry, I thought I heard something like puttering around. It's nothing. It's just my house making weird noises. It's fine. But yeah, I've missed you so dang much. And I need you to know that I've missed you. What's going on in here? I hear them. Hey, game! You can't keep doing this. Can you pick this up, please? I hear dynamite. I hear dynamite. Just a little bit intestine-y. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, where are they? There's one of them. What am I picking up? Boom, headshot. Boom, headshot. This boy? This big lad? What happens if I shoot it? I don't want to waste the bullet. It's a good thing they're fake words then. Come here. Come back. Come back. try and shoot the eyeball after we take care of all the bad guys here, okay? Wheelchair, can you get out of my way? Hey. There he is. Okay. It's too high up for me to poke it with my fist. Listen. All the eyeballs. He just blinks. He doesn't like getting shot in the eye. Understandable. I also don't like getting shot in the eye. It's not something I enjoy terribly. Not the eye puns. Okay. It is a little meaty here. It might be a bit Cruelty Squad-like. Don't even worry about it. It also reminds me of that Mr. Pink game that we played that one time. That, like, ridiculous shooty one. Where everything was meat, and we rotated the gun in our hands, and that was cool. Okay. We have some pistol ammo, we've got some agony bolts, we've got some shotgun shells now, and we got some sniper rifle ammo. Not a lot of any of it, but we do at least have some bullets in everything. We have the meats! It's true! Also, here's a checkpoint. We've only been streaming for like an hour, but I think I have to pee. I think I need to pee. Hey, I think I need to pee all of a sudden. All of the meats made me need to pee. Don't worry about it. So, hang on just a hot second while I go piss. I'll be right back. Please. I love that pee time is a thing now. I love that that's just a thing that we do now. Alright. Hi. I'm ready to go. It's pee time. It's pee time. It's not though. We just peed. Everything is fine now. I don't need to pee anymore. We just peed. Listen. I don't want to fuck with this bomb, so I'm not gonna. I do want that though. Not the bad Roombas. Bad Roombas. Okay. That's fine. I guess. Lots of stuff. By lots of stuff, I mean shotgun shells and some scrap. It's a little concerning that these wrap around to each other. Don't want to mess with that. We're getting a lot of ammo, and that, while nice, is concerning. Okay, hold on. Before we go ahead, let's switch to this and make some of those. Let's try that one more time, but actually top off the explosive bolts. It's gonna be Senior Safehead, isn't it? It's, oh, I hate this effect. What if I just leave him in there? There's 2 of them?! Right, this is not ideal. Fuck, I missed! It's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine! Okay, while they're coming through there, I'm gonna open this up. Ah! Ah! I'm not a huge fan of divvying up my damage on them, but you know what? It's fine. Shit. Oh, danger Roombas. I hear him beating on his head with his stupid hammer. I don't like being in this hallway. Ah! That's one of them. That's both of them. Got this. Look. After the bullshit from yesterday, I am unstoppable. Unless they throw another tentacle monster at me, in which case I will eat shit and die. But you know what? We'll get there when we get there. For the time being, I'm doing great. Did use up all my agony bolts, but that's okay. I am saving our magnum rounds for Ruvik, or whatever the final boss is gonna be.
I created this world.
Which I assume is Ruvik.
You cannot keep me here.
Not the tremble tents. How to avoid his eyes. We know this. I understand. That was rude and sneaky, and I didn't appreciate it. Can I shoot the eyeballs? Bruh, I was aiming at you. I was about to shoot. Please, Ruvik. Listen. It's like trailing after me. I can close them. For a decent amount of time as well. Checkpoint! Oh no. That looks like a fairly large... I'm gonna try it. Never mind. I was incorrect. Looking at it, I thought I could see... It's fine. We have lots of health. And now we don't have to worry about it. And now I've reminded myself that those fucking suck. And we won't have...
That is not correct. Because according to the encyclopedia of...
That scared me. Just hearing the little gasp at first and that sound alert spooked me. Hi, TK. How's it going, friend? It's a whole thing. It's a whole dang thing. We got this. As long as my camera decides to work with me here. Listen, eyeball. Eyeball, listen. I'm glad you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. It's the final chapter. We're gonna finish this game. Like, now. Do you want to aim? Maybe? Buddy? Ooh, we did it. We started doing it. So usually Sebastian starts running for us. Usually Sebastian starts running for us. And I was like, I'm not gonna just blindly run this time. Because I'm gonna die. Because they usually change camera angles on me and... Don't step into the puddles of blood because they're deep. Understood. It's fine. Game. Why are you like this? I can't see where they are. That's mean. It's fine, we did it. Holy buttholes. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. I don't like the chase sequences. I don't like chase sequences in general. Specifically fixed camera chase sequences. They are not great. Nice! Get that horsey. Get that good horse. That's super exciting though. Congrats! Get that wild pony. Alright, what are we doing? I just want to find Leslie. I want to find my baby. I just want to get the horror and terror and sadness out of the way. Because we all know something bad's gonna happen to my child. They took away my chair! My pickle chair! Give me back my pickle chair! Game! They took away my pickle chair. I got juice I want to use! Give me my juice! I have so much juice! It's fine, I guess. It's fine. You know what that means? I don't have enough money for chicken nuggets.
If I make it out alive, I'm never riding in an elevator again.
Always take the stairs. Don't always take the stairs. It's good to take the stairs sometimes, though. This is tragic, honestly. Hello. Alright.
It can't be.
Oh, hey! Us. You gotta... Leslie! Baby! Come here. Come to me. Fuck off, Kidman! I'm gonna protect my boy!
Sebastian, get away from him.
No!
Sebastian, listen to me. Stop. Your interests are the same as ours.
No!
I get it. You're not just some rookie detective, and this is not just some ordinary kid. You killed Joseph and you shot me. So right at this moment, that's enough reason for me not to trust you.
Wait, Joseph actually died? Wait, when did that happen? Wait!
That's
Wait!
Doesn't matter anymore. know who this kid is, if you know anything, you know why he can't be allowed to live.
Bullshit. It's Ruvik. He's the one that...
But now, just now, he was like, you killed Joseph and shot me. I thought Joseph was fine. I mean, I thought Joseph was a little worse for wear, but I thought he was okay. I thought he was not dead. I thought Joseph was alive. This is tragic and such sudden news to bring up to me at the moment. No, don't touch my boy. Oh, fine, it's obviously... Ah! He turned him into pickle juice! I want my boy back! Give me my boy back! At least give me his juice so I can put him in my brain! Everything is horrible. Joseph is dead, and Leslie has been turned into pickle juice, and I hate everything. I hate it when my brain shoots out barbed wire at me. Oh, Goopy! Goop. Everything is horrible. Wait! Who are you? No, isn't that the thing that was in the water? A smaller version of that? Ruvik, please! Okay. Nope, yep, okay. I was busy trying to determine if I had stamina. I was trying to see if I... Oh, okay, this is fine. Sebastian is actually just running on his own without... Please. Please. I know I'm full of jam, but the jam needs to stay inside of me, okay? Okay. The hitbox on this sucks! Okay. We're gonna get smushed a few times. It's fine. I wish it didn't have to reload every single time. Sebastian Smuckers. Oh no. He's the jam man. He eats jam. This is really annoying because even if it's like the side of his fingertip grazes me, it counts as a kill. Checkpoint, please. He's got breathe! Also, there's that checkpoint. Very good. I can't see because everything is dusty. I'm not entirely sure why I got there. It's fine. We did get a checkpoint, though. I think I fell behind a little bit was the issue. Yeah, oh my god, sorry. I love the creature design in this game. It's very good. Ah, I get to shoot him with the big gun! Do it, Sebastian! Oh, you want me to shoot that? I see. You can tell because it's got the big red circle on it. It's very hard to aim, as my aim is also dependent on where the camera is, and the camera is constantly moving. It's neat though, I like this. It's very epic, which is like what you want with a final boss, right? Oh! This is one of those you should probably not have that in you, but also taking it out is gonna do more damage than if you just leave it in. You got this, Sebastian, get it! Get it, buddy! Good job! The knockback on that is gonna suck, though. Aim for his head, not his belly. Or I guess, just aim for him. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck! I know where to aim, game. I am aware, but he's so wiggly. Please, 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 please. Right in the brain. Ouch, bud. Is he dead? He's not dead. This is a problem. This is a big problem. This is actually a giant problem. Huh? That's his belly, I think? Even if it looks like just a giant distended nutsack, I'm pretty sure that was his belly. Is that it? That's what it feels like to chew 5 gum. Sorry. Terrible. I don't think I want to chew on 5 gum. I don't think I want 5 gum. If it feels like my head is exploding. Okay, can we talk about how dope that was, though?
This world.
I really liked that. I know, like, some people have issues with, like, scripted fights like that. But especially against, like, giant bosses and stuff, I fucking adore it. Destroy it, let's go. Oh, it's Ruben's brain. You should step on it for good measure. Just proper curb stomp it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yes! Also, right? Like, especially after the last boss. The tentacle boss was just so horrible that having something like that where it's like, I don't want to say it was difficult because it wasn't. But having something where it's like, you feel like the tension and it is high stakes, but it's still like, you can get through it fairly easily.
No one can.
You were just gonna leave him? You're gonna leave him to die? Because Kidman's a bitch? That's the dude from the beginning. There's the doctor. It's all the people with the lumps. Where's Joseph? Where's Joseph? I need to confirm with my own eyes that Joseph is dead. Who that? Leslie! Leslie got gooped though. Right? Like, I know that was like in the dream world, but that's still like gooped Leslie in the real world, right? If you goop in the dream, do you goop in real? I think so. Tragic. That's horrible and I hate it. Are they gonna shoot me?
Go, go.
No. Okay.
Detective.
Hi.
You all right?
No.
Is there anyone else?
No. There are a lot of goop questions.
Give me some real fresh air.
Everything smells like pickles, sir. Tragic. But where's... Is that Leslie? Baby? 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 Not baby. Ghost baby. Leslie's in our head as pickle juice. That is acceptable. I will accept Leslie being in our brains. I did ask that if Leslie was gonna get juiced, that we get the juice. Is that it? Did we do it? We did it. Just like Zach. I am gonna skip. I hate skipping credits, but I don't know if that music is copywritten, so we're gonna skip. Hey, got a machine gun! And a rocket launcher! Lots of pickle juice. And new game plus and model viewer. You can choose a different difficulty setting when selecting new game. We just played on normal difficulty. I died 84 times. That's... And like 35 of those were to the tentacle boy. Not quite that many. It was probably like 6, 7, I don't know. But we've done it! We have beaten the evil within, y'all. Look. We did it. We've done it. I did really enjoy that. Aside from... right now to beat the evil without. No, aside from, like, the couple of issues that I had with the general, like... I don't know, I had some issues with some of the ammo. But at least it was, like, fairly spread out throughout. It wasn't necessarily, like... Up until the very end, it wasn't, like, huge chunks of ammunition and nothing for a really long time. It was fairly well balanced, knowing that it was gonna be ammo light. Fine. I wish that the melee was better. And I wish that... I wish that Sebastian wasn't, like, so caught up in his own animations that it, like, was easy to interrupt, but that's whatever. Right, inflated HP is not a valid approach to adjusting difficulty. 100%. And then that one boss, the one terrible tentacle boss, was horrible. Some of the other bosses I did have a little issue with. As far as, like, trying to figure out that I was, in fact, doing the correct thing. But after, like, 1 or 2 deaths, it was fairly easy to figure out what was going on. That one was just, he had just way too much health. But overall, that was awesome, and I really liked it. I really liked that. I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. But yeah, that was dope. And I am kind of excited to play the second one. From what I have heard, from what little I have heard, I think people generally don't like the second one nearly as much. Which is fine. Sequels are usually not as good as their first, or as their predecessor. All the bosses were kind of iffy, actually. I really liked Safe Ed. Yeah, I mean, like, I could get, or like, I could do with or without the bosses. They weren't what made the game for me. I did really like a lot of their design. But like the creature design in general was really cool in this game. Even just like some of the regular zombies looked really neat. I hated the invisible boys. They were miserable. But no, that was a fun experience. I'm really glad I finally got to play this. And I'm glad y'all are here with me for it. Second one is more like a normal game. Worse, but functional. Right, I'm also glad that there were so few invisible boys. And that's fine as far as the second one is concerned, excuse me. But yeah, we'll do that at some point. Probably as soon as we're done with the evil, or with The Last of Us. We'll see how I'm feeling at that point, because that'll be a couple of, like, really story-heavy games, like, narrative-based games, done. So we might do something more shooty and boomy, but we'll figure it out then. But we'll definitely be doing The Evil Within 2 sometime soon, because I am excited about that. This was awesome. I really enjoyed this. This was a good experience.